Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them because it's the Spoilercast. And it's October, so we're talking about horror movies, like we usually do. But it's October, so now we're talking about horror movies because it's October.
Well, exclusively horror movies.
Exclusively horror movies, yes. And my name is Tobias, of course, as always, and with me is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And today we're talking about, we're not talking about a classic. We're not talking really about a new movie. I mean, at this point, it's over 5 years old. So, I mean, it's not new anymore, but it's newer.
It's 7 years old, even.
Yeah, exactly. It's from 2014.
Yeah.
It is, however, a kind of a new genre for us. It's an indie horror movie. We haven't really done that. We've done independent, but that's different. This is indie.
Yeah.
There's like, I'm not really sure what the difference is, but I know there is a certain difference between indie and independent.
Production
Mostly, yeah. But it's a low-budget horror movie.
Also, director and writer and stars are all the same.
Yeah. We're talking about Creep. And not the 2004 Creep, which we'll discuss a little bit later, I suppose. We're talking about the 2014 Creep, starring Mark Duplass and what's the other guy's name? Patrick Bryce, right. And he's also the director. And they both wrote it. And then they both produced it. Is there anyone involved else in producing it? I don't have the...
I don't know. They're the only ones listed at anything, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, no. Jason Blum and Josh Brown and Christopher Donolan.
Right. They're probably...
Mark Duplass, we mentioned.
As executive producers or producers.
Producer, executive, co-producer, and producer in that order of names.
Yeah. Well, Jason Blum, obviously, since it's Blumhouse that gives released the movie.
Yes.
It's under the Blumhouse Tilt name, which is like a subsidiary of Blumhouse. They have Blumhouse, which they made all the they made the Truth or Dare and they made in a rare occurrence they also made Get Out, I think. Yeah, they were Blumhouse. They released a lot of. They released all the Paranormal Activity movies and a lot of like, not trash but pretty bad movies.
Not the most well.
No, not a little more disposable stuff, but not terrible stuff. And then somehow he got his hands on the distribution rights, or the producing rights for Get Out. They were very proud of having their name on that. I know that because of that they had the movie that they produced after that was Truth or Dare. So it said like Blumhouse proudly presents. No, it was called Blumhouse's Truth or Dare. The name was all over the poster for that one because they thought now people are really gonna want to go watch this one.
Yeah, that didn't work.
I didn't see it.
As far as I know. I haven't seen it either. I've
from
only
what
seen,
I hear, it's terrible.
People's videos on it, and yes, it is terrible.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
But anyway, we're talking about Creep. Yes. And it's
also not to be confused with the song Creep, which I kept humming all day since we were talking about this one.
Yeah, good song.
Yes.
By Radiohead.
Yes.
So it's the story of what's his name? Patrick Bryce is a struggling cameraman. Aaron, or filmmaker.
Well, he's called a videographer, if you want to be fancy.
Sure, but I mean,
a struggling videographer answers an advert on the website Craigslist.
Yeah. To film, he just follow a guy along for like a day for $1,000.
Yeah.
And the guy turns out to be Joseph, played by Mark Duplass.
Yeah.
He wants to film him like just doing daily stuff because, as he reveals pretty early on, he has a brain tumor and has about 2 to 3 months left to live. His wife is pregnant, so he wants to leave something behind for his unborn child.
Yeah.
Sort of like the movie, what is it, My Life, that he talks about?
I think
the
so.
Michael
Yeah.
Keaton movie, which I saw when I was I don't know 8. I saw it on our granddad's TV because he had all the nice cable package with all the movie
Ah,
channels.
yes.
So I always watched TV there.
Out in the cabin, right?
No, the house in Swedish names Ystad.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
okay.
a long time ago. Anyway, um, yeah, and he just follows him around. They take a bath, or he takes a bath. They go out in the forest, but all the time that is going on, something's off about Joseph. And I mean, even if you don't know what this movie is about, he's a little
yeah,
weird.
because he's one of those like super energetic people, which doesn't match the energy of what he's telling him like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
First of all, so the whole it's a very jarring difference,
Yes. Yes.
even in the first like 5 minutes.
And also, even if you haven't, if you don't, I mean, if you watch the poster, it looks like a horror movie, and the name is Creep, and it's written in like this scribbly text.
Yeah, it looks
And
like someone carved it.
I don't know how the trailer sells it because I've honestly not seen the trailer ever.
I watched it just before this.
Mm-hmm.
It does sell it as a horror film,
Okay.
but
Does it sell him as like a dangerous person or?
no, more a weirdo
Okay.
though. So
Yeah.
they do keep that on track. Like he is a weirdo. That's all
Okay.
they're gonna show you,
Yeah.
and they kind of like play it up as just as in the movie. It starts out being just a bit odd, but you know it's all good fun,
Sure.
and then it becomes even weirder,
Um.
and it's not so much fun anymore.
Yeah, because when I first saw the movie, because it came out on Netflix pretty quickly after its theatrical release, since it is a very small movie, so they wanted to sell the rights quickly. So
Yeah,
I think I saw it in like 2016, and it'd been out on Netflix since 2015, at least in America. Um, and I knew Mark Duplass. I knew Mark and Jay Duplass, the Duplass Bros or brothers. They like to produce like small indie stuff and sometimes do like more experimental stuff. So when I saw pause, um, they do a lot of they like to experiment with with movies, basically making smaller movies, taking chances. Another way you should make movies. So seeing Mark Duplass in a horror movie and a movie about a guy, a weird guy, and it's called Creep. I was like, so is this just gonna be like an awkward movie? Is that gonna be the big thing? Like it's modern horror. People are awkward. Oh, the worst situation you could ever be in. And for a lot of the movie, that's what it is.
yes,
It's kind of a subversive horror movie then that way. But then it turns out, of course, he's a psychopath who kills
yeah.
people. Spoilers. I mean, it's the Spoilercast, so.
And it's a relatively old movie. You should have had time to watch it.
Yes, yes. But then I just gotta ask you. Well, first of all, like we usually do this, what did you think of the movie?
Eh, okay. It's not my favorite kind of movie. It's not probably not one I'm gonna rewatch too much. It was interesting to watch it for the first time. I realized kind of quickly that you really have to pay attention or you'll miss details and not understand things.
Yeah, like what?
Like no, like small things. Like if I looked away to do something else for a second, and all of a sudden someone screams.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
Like, what?
They
They're
have a bunch
screaming
of
a lot, and you have to like really pay attention to why they're screaming. Because
they have a bunch of
if you
cheap
if
jump
you look
scares. Yeah.
away, you'll miss half the scares.
Yeah, because there isn't a lot of scares,
No.
and it is a pretty short movie. It's like an hour and 17 or
17,
something.
yeah,
Oh.
I think.
And yeah, and
So yeah,
the scares they do have are kind of cheap jump scares, and that was also something
most
I
of them,
realized
yes.
that so they're making basically a joke, but
Yeah.
just throwing in some cheap jump scares because it's a horror movie, so I guess we gotta have something.
Yeah. I mean, it does turn creepy towards the end,
Oh yeah,
and I'll give it that. It's a proper horror movie by then,
Mm-hmm.
but it's too awkward and too like not the way it's done. It's the script. I mean, it's written that way.
Mm.
I just hate awkward characters,
Yeah.
and that's full on awkward in this one for most of it, to be honest. Because I think I had to like pause it a couple of times, and towards the end, I was like, okay, so it's only about 30 minutes left. Nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
things are happening, but we're not getting anywhere.
No. And then,
And then all of a sudden,
well, yeah,
you get one thing.
yeah, well, yeah. Towards the when we're almost hitting the hour mark, Aaron has actually. There's a moment in the movie where you think, oh no, Joseph has gone completely unhinged. This is where it starts. Now the real horror starts. But then it just cuts to like a few days later. And first we see Joseph carrying some black trash bags into the forest. You're like, oh shit, here we go. But why would he film this himself? Oh, I don't know. And then the camera turns around and it's Aaron watching Joseph doing this. Because he got away. Joseph just ran away from him when we thought he was attacking him. He got back home. And now Joseph is sending him DVDs with film footage on.
Yeah.
But then the packages keep coming. More DVDs. He gets.
That's when the creep factor actually starts kicking in for me. Because before that, it's all very just silly and awkward.
Yeah, just awkward. It becomes creepy when he gets back to Los Angeles where he lives.
And he knows where he lives and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no.
And then eventually, he gets one final package where it's a video message from Joseph where he's like, well, I realized it was kind of awkward what I did, and I wasn't in my right like headspace. So I realized we're not really friends, but if you wanna like come to terms with this and like say our piece and then be done with this, I'll be in the so and so park at 11 tomorrow. And of course,
dumbass Aaron walks over there. Well, drives over there.
Yeah. He does set up his camera at first.
Yeah.
I think because now he knows that he can make like a project out of this weird guy. Which
or
is
if
perfect
nothing
for
else,
Joseph
he has evidence if something happens.
Yes, that too.
But dumbass again, which is mentioned in the film shortly after, sits with his back towards everything, basically.
Yeah, looking out over the lake. I mean, it's the bench where Joseph was recording the video.
Sure.
Message.
But still.
And behind him then, Joseph shows up, puts on the wolf mask. We haven't mentioned the wolf mask. He has a wolf mask that at first he says his dad made and had like a song that he would sing when he wore it. Called it Peach Fuzz, yeah.
Had like a weird song which sounded very improvised.
Because it probably was.
Yeah.
Then it turns out it was a mask he bought I'm
not actually sure why he bought it.
Well, it's the story about his wife, his pretend wife, where he
he just wants to have the mask so he can tell that story.
Well, yeah, I don't know why he has the mask, but he says he bought it for that.
Yeah.
Because he has this in a very very weird scene. He tells a story about his pretend wife. We find out, well, everything's pretend about him. Who in their pretend home had watched a bunch of what's it called? Zoophilia porn, animal porn.
Yeah.
And this drove a wedge into their marriage. So they went up to this cabin, where the movie takes place. Cabin, it's a house.
Yeah.
It's a big house. And he pretends that he has to go. They're going up for the weekend. He pretends he has to go back to work on the Saturday, but instead he goes and buys the mask and then breaks into his own home and rapes his wife while wearing the mask. But the way he describes it, it's like it's consensual, even though he ties her up. Yeah, because
she enjoys it.
Yeah. And then he, instead of confronting her, because then he escapes through the window again, and
leaves and never comes back,
no, well, he
basically.
comes
But yeah,
back on Sunday
as
morning
himself.
as himself, yeah, pretending like, oh, I was at work. How was yours Saturday evening? She's like, oh, it was fine. I'm like, oh my god, and he's like, he's conflicted about raping his wife, even though I don't really think it was rape. Either that doesn't really matter because it was all made up, a
Yeah,
super weird made up story that didn't really. I think it was just to make Aaron more uncomfortable, really.
probably. But the worst thing to me is that he refers to his wife as Angela.
Yeah,
Later on in the movie, Joseph gets a call, but Aaron picks it up, and
yeah.
it's Angela
Who is
who
actually
calls
Joseph's?
him his brother.
Yeah, it's Joseph's sister, and she says, "Tell me the address you're at, and just walk out of the house, because
I'll
Joseph,
come get
I'll
you.
come get you. Joseph has problems." And he's like, "What?" And then the of course the connection breaks, and he can't get out of there. But
Yeah.
it's quick. Shortly after that Joseph runs out of there, and the movie continues. But either way. So that's why he has the wolf mask. But then, as he moves up behind Aaron in the park, he puts on the wolf mask again, and I'm guessing wolves are a theme in the movie because he talks
Yes.
about wolves being his favorite animal because
Or
they're
wolf paintings in the rental house.
yeah, well, they're more bear paintings really. I mean, they're
Well,
animal
there's a
paintings.
few.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he describes them as like something about they're very loyal or something.
Yeah.
So like his
And
friends are.
he used he used the wolf cub as a metaphor for Aaron, that like you're all cute and cuddly inside, but we all know that you'll grow up to be a predator or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So he has this thing about wolves,
Yeah, but he puts on the
basically.
mask, raises his axe that he's carrying, and chops Aaron in the head.
Yeah.
And then he talks to him. He goes, grabs the camera, which he had already found, and talks to the camera, and like, talks about it as it's like a good ending, and that's the whole thing with him sitting with his back turned to the rest of the world. That
Yeah.
you trusted me, and that's nice.
Yeah.
You didn't look behind you because you trusted me, and that's
You thought there was goodness in this world. Like,
exactly.
yeah, sure.
Then there's a fake out jump scare where he scares himself because he walks up to the camera with the wolf mask on and goes "Wah!" So he scares himself as he's watching the footage, and then we get the last sequel bait scene where
he opens the closet.
yeah, Joseph's talking to someone on the phone about doing some videography stuff for him. It's 8 hours, $1,000. Yeah, just bring your camera. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll see you tomorrow. And then he opens a cabinet with like hundreds of tapes and DVDs showing that he's done
And they're all
this.
named.
Yeah. One of them says haircut. So I think he just films everything.
No, I think haircut, because those DVDs were all Aaron's DVDs. So
okay.
haircut was the one night where he came and took a piece of hair.
Yeah, because we do get some scenes where he goes into Aaron's home and while he's asleep, and takes a lock of hair, picks up his camera, and it's creepy. But that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. It's a very strange movie, but again, like it is kind of fascinating, but it's also very cringe.
Yeah, but
So
I
I
think
don't know.
it's supposed to be cringe. So
Sure, yes,
I
it
don't
is
see that as
supposed
a
to be
detriment.
cringe. But it's just making me uncomfortable in general to watch it.
Sure.
This cringe stuff, even if it's meant to be cringe, is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I suppose.
Depends on how tough you are regarding cringe. Like when he did the Peach Fuzz dance and song thing, I was like, nah, stop.
But that
Can we turn this off?
I thought that wasn't as cringe. The more cringy stuff was like when they first meet in the what do you call it? Tambur? Hall? Foyer?
Yeah,
the house? The entrance of the house.
Of the house, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like,
when he's like
explaining
right out the
everything.
gate, I have cancer. It's like, oh,
Yeah, and they start high-fiving and hugging, and that was more awkward because at least when he's doing the Peach Fuzz dance, he's wearing a mask. So you don't have his awkward staring at Aaron all the time.
But like even like how he, Because when Aaron gets there, no one's answering. He's not answering his phone. There's no one at the door. So he like, okay, this is kind of awkward. I'm gonna sit in my car and wait. And the dude just shows up like slamming his face in the car window, basically.
Yeah. He goes,
Oh, sorry, did I scare you? I was like, fuck you. Yes, you did. You don't do that. And then walking up those stairs, and Aaron's already filming everything.
Yeah.
It's just, and Joseph's so perky and happy and go get him. It's like, hell, stop it.
Yeah, that's because he's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
And I'm guessing, because we don't know what kind of crazy, I'm guessing he's just clinically insane or something.
Yeah, I suppose.
They don't tell us what kind of crazy. He's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's very unsettling even before it becomes creepy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the whole thing. That was what I thought when I first saw it, that it's just going to be a movie about an awkward guy.
Yeah.
And that is like modern horror because people are so socially inept nowadays. Which I thought was kind of funny. But then, they tagged on an actual horror ending.
Yeah.
Because
you did have like
the most
light
movie, it is
moment
just...
in the middle.
Oh, yeah?
Well, when they're at the heart-shaped.
Oh yeah, they're going to like some
Fountain of Youth or whatever they call it.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like the water's supposed to have healing properties. So I want to get rid of my cancer, which he doesn't
well, at least
have,
give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Because that scene is like, that sequence when they actually see the heart and then before they leave, it's actually okay.
Yeah,
it's a bit cringe that too because it's two adult men randomly swinging, playing in water.
But I mean, he's going along with it.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that Joseph's gonna die, and I mean, he did pay him that's the first thing he does. Also, he pays him straight up.
Yeah.
So now the business part is over. Now it's just two guys hanging out, and he's like forcing his friendship on him. But at least okay, let's try at least.
Having that scene just after the one where he like runs up into the woods.
Yeah.
And then scares Aaron for no reason. I think that's where he makes the wolf cub analogy.
Yeah.
Because you had for a split second there, you had this murderous look. It's like, yeah, no shit, you scared me.
Yeah, well, I think that's just his crazy like bleeding through. Like he just likes scaring people. Obviously, likes scaring people.
Obviously.
So even though he's playing the long game, he just wants to scare people.
He just has to do it a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, they'll go insane.
Yeah,
well.
Basically. That just made sense. At least that's how I'm reading it, so to speak.
No, that makes sense. It's just
awkward. It's awkward. It's
yes,
cringe.
It's awkward to watch.
Yeah,
even.
I agree.
Even like the clothing Joseph wears makes it like kind of awkward. It's like
yeah,
who wears?
He's wearing like active wear.
Yeah, first off he meets him with he's jogging. Wearing these like leggings, basically, running tights.
Yeah.
With the gosh darn pocket over the ass.
Stupid.
Yeah. The keys. And he's like not sweaty. So he has not been running. Can tell that much.
Well, I always attributed that. Obviously, hasn't been running, but I always attributed that it's kind of a cold climate. I think it's like fall, and they're up in the northern parts of. I think it's still California, right?
It looks like it.
Yeah. So that's maybe why he's not sweating too much.
Perhaps.
Either way, it doesn't really matter because he wasn't out running. He was just creeping.
He puts on these like windbreaker pants.
Yeah.
After.
Yeah. He's dressed in like functional active wear. And it's I don't know why, but it's annoying.
Yeah, because no, you don't put that. You put on a pair of jeans like a normal person. Yeah. Possibly a pair of sweatpants if you're like being chill. Not windbreaker pants. That's not like even worse than putting on those I don't know what they're called, like cargo pants almost.
Yeah.
Like that would have been more normal.
Yeah.
Fucking windbreakers.
But it's kind of funny because I think the clothes are a conscious choice. It's not just that I'm wearing this, whatever. Because I know when they first, because there's a sequel, Creep 2. They've started talking about a third one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's when you scroll down on IMDb, you see Creep 2, The Invitation, Creep 3, and the other
yeah,
Creep.
yeah. And I read that when they started working on, I think it was Creep 2, the first thing they did was like costume fittings, or like picking out the clothes. So I think that the clothes for him, like, even though we don't really get an explanation or anything, they matter to Joseph or to the character.
No, I bet.
So I
Like,
mean, and I think they're supposed to give you that reaction. Like, it's annoying that he wears those clothes, or like it's
because they're
weird
not
or something.
they're not very functional when it comes to killing people either. Because those kind of windbreaker pants make noises.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
ruffle a lot, so it's
So
stupid
I don't know.
considering that aspect. But he's not supposed to kill him then and there
No, no.
anyway. So
I think he
not
wears
according to
jeans when he
plan.
actually kills him.
I don't think you really see that,
No,
to
but
be
it doesn't
honest.
look
It's
like
too dark.
black pants. Either way,
Oh wait, you mean that scene? No, yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
wearing something lighter in that scene.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about the scenes where he breaks into Aaron's house.
No, then he's wearing all black active
Yeah,
wear. Either way, I don't know. That's basically the movie.
yeah. It is
um,
very simple. You have the task. He comes up there to film him. It gets a bit awkward, and then they go for a hike to get to the Fountain of Youth thing.
yeah, where they're kind of
They kind of
bonding.
they kind of bond. They
Yeah,
relax. Things become sort of normal. They get to the restaurant thing, and you have the first inkling, like proper, like shit's
he's making it up.
wrong.
Yeah,
When he's making up. When he's looking at the menu and goes, "I wonder what's good here." After he just said, "I go here all the time with my wife."
it's my favorite restaurant, or they have the best pancakes. It's like,
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
yeah,
you sure?
yeah.
And Aaron even points it out. And then you have the weird night where things kind of happen, but he's only freaking Aaron out
Yeah.
until he gets the phone call.
Uh,
And then the very abrupt, which I hated. I hated the cut between the night when he's actually getting out of there, when he's standing at the door and dancing in the wolf mask, trying to like cover the door, not letting
yeah.
Aaron leave, and then cut to Aaron being at home, basically. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Even
well,
though they're trying to play it up with the whole trash bags and
yeah.
the shoveling, I didn't like that.
It worked for me. I just thought, oh my god, he attacked him, but he didn't. Well, I guess he technically did attack him, but then just run away.
They had a bit of a scuffle.
Yeah, exactly. But was there? Because you said you liked it, but you've really only told us what you didn't. What was it? What did you like
I
about
like the mystery
it? Okay.
about it all.
Yeah.
I like trying to figure out things. And it does kind of bother me that I don't really know enough, so I'm really excited to watch the second one
Yeah. Well,
for the Patreon episode.
we're doing that for Patreon. Yeah. So if you wanna listen to that, because that's audio only, subscribe to us on Patreon. Just $3 a month. You get an extra episode every week. You get commentary tracks. You get early access to my other podcast. Bunch of stuff.
Bunch of stuff.
Check it
So
out.
I'm
Links
I'm really
everywhere.
excited for that because I'm hoping I get more background info. Not background story, like I don't want a prequel. I just want someone to like say more than, "Oh, he's crazy."
Yeah, flesh them out a little bit.
Sure.
And I'll
Tell me he's on meds but he stopped taking them or something.
I'll say this much without spoiling anything for the second one. We do get more information.
Thank God.
That's about it.
Do we get more of Angela? Because she's not even credited in the first movie.
Because she's just a voice, and it's like
True.
literally a minute.
It's one phone call.
Barely. I don't remember if Angela's in this actually.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm curious about her as well, to be honest. But because that's the part I kind of like. I like that you can like kind of try and figure out when things go wrong, when are things actually gonna like derail completely. Is he really crazy, or is it just supposed to be like weird?
Is he just a creep?
Yeah, or is he a murderer?
Yeah.
Turns out he is a murderer, but he could have been just a creep.
Yeah, up until the like second to last scene, he is just a creep. Very creepy. Some of the stuff, but still just.
He becomes somewhat of an obsessed stalker.
Yeah.
Which is just creepy, though.
Yeah.
He's not a murderer yet. Okay, sure, he's actually breaking into his house, which is... It is a felony.
Oh, yeah. He's breaking the
But
law, but I
technically, in
mean...
America, when you have your own properties, you're not allowed to like step on people's property
Well, I
without
mean, he did go into
permission.
the guy's house, and you can't do that in any country.
No, but like even when he runs away and he goes to the backyard or whatever he
Oh,
did,
sure,
I don't.
sure.
Also, that scene kind of it's a good scene because it's actually scary. That whole sequence with the when they're back at Aaron's house.
Oh, yeah,
But
and
it
he...
also bothered me because he broke the number one fucking rule of horror films. You
Yeah?
do not go outside if you like
Oh,
don't know where
right.
you're going. You don't go looking for the killer.
Well, he doesn't... First of all, he doesn't know it's a killer. He doesn't even know that he's psychotic. He just knows that he's kind of
Why did he
creepy.
call the cops?
Well, he does
Because he did
that.
call them before that.
Yeah, he does call
And
them, but
said
they
that he's
can't
scared
really...
of his. He's scared for his life. He's scared this person is gonna do something bad. But when the person actually suspects someone has broken into his house, he doesn't call the cops. Like, yeah, he turns on the lights. Good job. He grabs a knife. Good job. Call the cops. That's number 3.
Yeah.
But no, he goes outside to investigate. I'm like, you dumb fuck.
But I think that's because he called the cops before and they couldn't really do anything. So like, okay, I'm on my own. I think that's why he calls the cop earlier, so they won't have to do that later.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a movie thing. It's because the script needs it.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense in real life. Even if you call the cops about the first thing you did, sure, they can't do much
No,
about that
exactly.
stuff. Because he can't give them any information. He can't even give them a proper name.
Yeah.
But when you think someone's at your house, they can most definitely come and check it for you.
Oh yeah.
But no. Yeah, you need to
that's
have that for the movie. I understand, but it's stupid.
I might be misremembering, but they make a thing out of that in another found footage, or not found footage. Well, found footage movie. It's not found footage, but it's someone walking around with the camera. The whole thing is from a first person perspective. It's a movie called The Den. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's that's a subgenre of the found footage. It's the webcam movie. The webcam movie. It's about a girl who hangs out on this fake chat roulette kind of web page to do she's doing some sort of social study about it.
Yeah, like research for a paper or something, right?
And in one of the people she calls up, she sees them being murdered. And there you have a scene where, because then people start chasing her, of course, spoilers. And they start chasing her family members. Now there you have a scene where they're just being creepy, but she calls the cops, and they're like, "Well, we can't do much." But then they actually get into the house, and then she calls the cops, and the cops arrive.
They do that in other movies as well, where they've called the cops before, and the cops come out, and there's nothing here. We can't do much. Don't call us on that unless there's actually someone chasing you, basically. And they do call them when they're being chased, but they usually arrive too late.
Yes, of course. Otherwise the movie would have not worked.
Either too late, as in the main person has been killed already, or the creep has left.
Yeah, exactly. Either way. But did I say that I liked it? I haven't asked myself. You haven't asked me.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, because I like it. I like it a lot. This is the second or third time. Probably the second time I watch it. And while it is very awkward to watch, since that is the point, I don't see that is not a detriment for me. Even though I hate awkwardness. This is a horror movie for me because I am socially inept. So
yes,
it works on me. But since that's the point, it's like, yes, that's the point. That's I love it. It works, even though this time I knew what was gonna happen. It still worked for me, because it is a very slow build up until the actual real psychotic stuff happens. And I think they do that well, and because it is so short, it never really drags.
No.
And that's
they don't have
important.
a lot of extra fluff that just to fill out time.
Yeah.
Everything does have a slight purpose, at least.
Yeah, and even if you're like, this is just awkward, move on. That's well, it's the point. It's supposed to be awkward, and the movie is barely an hour long, so
yeah,
it can't drag on because they have to tell the story.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there are a few things that kind of bother me, like that cut between somehow
Sure.
Aaron got out of the house.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have shown us like a little bit more and then just having him film when he's walking down the street and the car pulling up to pick him up or whatever.
Yeah, but that would have ruined the whole trash bag scene. We're
Yes, that's
supposed to think
true.
that the camera shut off because they started fighting, he kills him, and now he's burying him.
But
And he's
the but
filming
the
it because he's crazy.
that scene where you only see um
Joseph?
Joseph with the bags and the shovel, you can tell that it's filmed like someone is filming the TV, and it's also too short for me
Yeah?
and too non-interactive. It doesn't feel because it at first I thought they were like breaking the pattern. All of a sudden it's not filmed by someone in the movie. It's a cameraman on
Oh,
production.
okay. I didn't.
But then you kind of notice, like, no, it's not. It is someone's film camera. Is it on a log? No, you're filming this while you're watching this,
Well,
and then Aaron's alive.
the camera is on a log. You see the log
Yeah,
in the
but
foreground.
you can see when it's shifting
Oh,
back to when
okay.
it's Aaron's camera.
Oh, sure, yeah, because he's filming the TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're like,
But that I
I
didn't
think
know
that
the
kind
first
of
time I didn't notice that, and this time
it
since it's
kind
been a
of
few
bothered me
years,
a little bit.
since it's been a few years since I watched it, I even forgot that. I was like, I didn't remember how because I knew Aaron survived at least for the first attack, so to say. But when I saw that scene, I was like, wait, how did they get out of this? I don't remember this. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember how they get back to Aaron. Like, oh right, he's filming the TV. Okay,
Like,
so
it would have made it
I
more
didn't notice it.
believable if Joseph like talked while he was doing it, because he is a very talkative person. He was too quiet, so
But
it felt
he
staged.
wouldn't. He wouldn't talk to himself. I think.
No, but he would talk to the dead person.
Well, the person is dead, so he's not going to
I
talk.
thought he would at least, because I mean, he talks to the camera. Well, to Aaron through the camera.
That's the thing. He talks to other people. I think he's one of those people. When there's no one around, he's just off. He's a robot. He's just staring into a wall until the
Maybe
thing he wants to do is is arriving, or the person he's going to kill is showing up. It's like, oh, like
that's when
there's
he wakes up.
nothing.
Maybe, yeah.
There's nothing there when he's not with another person. I think
But
that's
they don't
the
give us
vibe I
enough.
get.
Like, they should have showed us that one more time, like him being alone in a room and then Aaron walking in on him being that, or something.
But that might have made it too obvious. Like the whole
Maybe.
thing. Oh, you caught me being crazy. I'm not. I promise. And then,
No, he could have just like played it. Oh, sorry, got lost in thought.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad they didn't do
I don't
that.
know. It feels a bit off that sequence. You could have done it probably some other way, but I'm not entirely sure how. I just didn't prefer it.
I almost think because they do have one of those scenes, but it's very well. It's not really subtle, but the whole pancakes, the restaurant thing. That's the first where he's like, wait a minute, you said you go around the time.
Character basically.
Yeah. And I almost think that's too much. Like the first time. I just thought that he says it's his favorite restaurant, but he's never been there. He's just saying it to sound like a regular guy. But then it turns out he's saying it just to fool Aaron. But watching it the second time, then it felt too obvious because the movie is not obvious. The only thing it is obvious about is that he's awkward, but not that he's crazy.
Yeah.
So I like that it's very It's not even ambiguous. They're not hinting at all that he's crazy until Aaron gets away from the house.
Yeah.
So I like that it's very 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 subtle with the crazy stuff, but very obvious with the awkward stuff.
I would have wanted like one more hint.
All right, maybe, sure.
But it's like a tiny one, just like that slip up at the restaurant. Should have been just a tiny slip up.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it felt so odd. I mean, it's supposed to, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't. It felt like they didn't know how to write it, so they just wrote something else all of a sudden.
What do you mean?
No, the pancake thing, and like that's the only time he breaks character, so it doesn't feel like he is playing a character for most part, because that's like the only time he's breaking character feels so doesn't fit in because we haven't seen it before at all.
Yeah, I
don't know. He could have just one more tiny time would have been great.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Also, the other thing, like the only thing that really bothered me with how they shot it, or like if a detail they could have just added in the script, I guess, when Aaron prepares the whiskey,
Yeah.
that he supposedly drugs.
Yeah, there's no hint of
Can you
that.
at least like see a pill jar or something? Like seeing him tuck something into his pocket, whatever. No, you don't.
Yeah,
You only see him pouring glasses. That's all
yeah.
you see.
The,
Like,
we, we,
come on.
we get a
How
hint.
were
He
we
says,
supposed to
"This
understand that?
did your whiskey taste weird?" That's
Yeah,
it.
but then
But
it's too late. And you
yeah,
already know. Then like, oh, okay, yeah, he poisoned him
and then he says
somehow.
that I know you spiked my whiskey,
Yeah,
but that's
but I
that's
would have liked
afterwards.
it.
So.
I would have liked just seeing him like,
Sure,
yeah,
yeah,
grabbing something in a
yeah,
pocket or
because
something.
Aaron is not a psychopath
No.
who's done this before or
And I mean, the
has done it
camera
before.
is angled so we're supposed to see him pour the drinks.
Yeah,
Then we should have been supposed to see him poison, well,
a drug him.
drug
Yeah,
Joseph's glass.
yeah,
It's a tiny detail. It's
sure,
just
sure.
slightly bothered me. Other than that, it's an interesting movie. It's awkward as fuck again, but it's an interesting movie.
Yeah,
And I am very, very, very psyched to see what happens in the sequel.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I want to know. However, when we just started talking about what movie we're going to watch this week,
Yeah.
and you
Oh
said
yeah,
Creep,
yeah. Tell us.
I went, oh, I've seen that. And then you start talking about it. It's like, no, I haven't seen that.
That doesn't sound
I
right.
was thinking about the 2004 version. Well, the 2004 movie. It takes place in England, London,
the
underground.
London Underground love.
London underground, yes. With the disformed creature
And is it
kidnapping people and putting him in
Franka
cages.
Potente?
Let me check.
Who's
I have it here.
the lady?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay. Then I've seen it. That's a very different movie. That's
Yes.
a proper like horror, almost action movie, with monsters in the subway.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Ooh.
Well, that's literally the like tagline.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Because at first you're not sure.
Well, some of the taglines, depending on where you read it. On
Okay.
IMDb, it just says a potential attacker. In others, it says a
No?
deformed person.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a weird creature.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all you need to know.
That's a very different movie.
Yes.
And I'd say this is a better movie. So if you're gonna watch one creep movie, watch this one. I think.
See, I
2014.
saw Creep when I was a kid, so
Well, yeah.
I liked Creep
So
because that's my kind of horror.
we've discussed that on
Yes.
on about both Patreon on the free episode. Yeah, that
Yeah.
you grew up with the mid 2000s horror movies, so you like all
Yes.
the bad slashers like Valentine's
Oh, yes.
Day and I Know What You Did Last Summer and
Yes.
Creep. There's
So-
a Reeker was another one.
Yes,
And the
Reeker was one we mentioned.
The with the clown.
Mhm.
Anyway, I was gonna find somewhere because there is something in the movie that at least like when they discussed the making of the movie, there was like this idea that you weren't really even supposed to like the movie is setting up that it's about a creep, but that both Joseph and Aaron's actions in the movie was gonna make it was gonna make you think like who's the real creep here. I read that somewhere. I'm trying to find it, but I can't really find it. But I
They could have gotten away with that at least in the beginning
sure.
if they had changed a bit of Aaron's dialogue when he was on his own in the car.
Yeah.
Because the way he talks about this makes him seem like this like totally cool dude who just wants to make a bit of extra money.
Yeah.
If they hadn't had him talk about like, oh, nice place, nice lake, nice whatever, maybe it's just an old lady who needs a bit of company, then he would have been a creepy dude who wants to film people.
Yeah, but I found it here. This is it's on Wikipedia. Of the creative process for his character Joseph, Duplass explained, "We were interested in the psychological profile of this very, very strange person. Yeah, we were very interested in how you meet people and don't quite understand what's up, but you start to get signs.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what happens. For us, that was intense eye contact. Yeah, it's very awkward.
He doesn't blink.
No, yeah, he just stares like.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of personal space, which I guess.
Yeah,
It's
he
a lot
wants
of
to hug and
hugging
high five
hugging,
and
but it's
stuff.
not that much, but it's still oversharing.
It's weird when it's the first time you meet. Yeah,
Yes,
and oversharing definitely.
Maybe a little bit too much love here and there. Yeah,
Yeah. He wants to become best friends right away. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a bit.
but for me, there's something wrong with both of these guys. Deeply. This concept of who is the creep in this scenario. And I don't think that works. Except for the fact that Aaron drugs Joseph just to get away from him. Even before he has really been too creepy.
Well,
I mean,
again, they could have hinted at it more for us that we saw um Joseph take Aaron's keys or something.
yeah.
But we don't see that. We just know the keys are missing, and obviously,
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's a movie. We know why the keys are missing. But, I mean, they are
yeah,
setting it up like maybe it's just an awkward movie, so maybe you just misplaced them. I don't know.
sure. But I don't know. Now I don't feel like the drugging is. I mean, it's excessive, but I understand why.
Yeah, successful. Sorry.
No, excessive. It's a bit
Oh,
weird to drug
excessive. Oh, I
people.
thought you said successive, and I was like, that's
No,
excessive.
excessive.
Sure, yes, excessive.
It's a bit weird to drug someone to get out of there,
Yes.
but I understand why because this dude has showed that he can run fast as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is very on you all the time, so it's hard to get
Yes.
away from him.
Yeah. So, why did yeah why
You
did
do have to do something to incapacitate him to
and
be
why
able to get
yeah like you
away.
said, while that might be a little excessive, it's still like I can
What else
see
are you
why he
supposed to
did it.
do?
Yeah.
It's
So
that or like knocking him out with your fist. But
yeah,
even though Aaron is a bigger dude, it's not
it's not sure he can do it.
exactly because he doesn't
Um.
look like the fighting kind of guy.
No, and also they set him up. They set up Joseph as this active guy. So maybe he's one of
Yeah,
those like he doesn't show it, but he's like super strong or whatever.
I mean, like you don't know how ripped he is under those clothes.
Yeah. Well, we do see him without his clothes once.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do.
Right when the filming starts in the house, the first thing they do is, oh, we're gonna film bath time.
Yeah, that's also a bit weird. Even if he's like, I want to do a tubby for my son,
Yeah,
sure, I can understand that you want to like share that kind of story with your future baby
yeah,
if you know you're gonna die. But would you really have like 8 lit candles
yeah. That's just to show that he doesn't know exactly what it's like to
to
bathe
have a
your
tubby?
child. He just thinks, oh, it's supposed to be a nice moment between two people when they take a bath. Of course, you have candles because he doesn't know he's crazy.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
everything else, I mean, it's a bit awkward that he's like physically faking holding a
yeah,
child.
yeah.
You have to do that part? Really?
Yeah, that's when the awkwardness really hits hard. It's good that they
Yes.
do that right off the bat. He's
I
like,
mean, you
oh
have the first one when he's
no,
like, "Let's
oh
go take a
no.
bath," and Aaron's like, "What?
Wait,
What?
a bath? Yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
okay."
And then he kind of like takes the edge off the situation when he says like, all right, let's just get in. Well, I'll get in. You stay here. Oh,
That's
thank
the
God. Thank God.
that's good. And then he does. Oh, he does break character a little bit there,
He
because he all of
does?
a sudden he says something like, "Maybe I should just end it," and he goes underwater.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, that
But he
could
does
just
he does
be
come up and laugh and say, I'm sorry, it was a joke.
yeah.
I'm sorry. But
That
he
could
can't help
be
himself. He wants to scare
that
people.
that could be the cancer patient saying, "Oh, I know
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. Why not just die now?"
Yeah. That's what you think when you first watch it.
Yeah, and that I've heard that these kind of things are like something that people do when they know they're gonna die soon.
What?
They like contact random people that they've never talked to before just to like say everything they want to get off their chests, and then they can just die even though they
Well,
know they
yeah.
would
It's
have like a month or two left even.
you wanna get it off your chest, but you don't want to talk to like people you love or like your family
No,
or
because you don't
friends.
want to ruin their
Yeah,
experience of
or
you.
just that it's too hard to confess. You
Yeah.
just take a random person. That I definitely see
And then
that.
as soon as you're done with that, you're like, fine, I'm done, bye, dead.
Yeah. I mean, very. I don't know if it's very famous, but a very famous case. Very famous person. Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother,
Oh yeah.
director of Top Gun and one of my favorite movies, Man on Fire, a bunch of movies, Enemy of the State.
Right.
He got, I think he got brain cancer, some sort of cancer. And he was one of those. He found out, when they found it out, they said, you have 6 months to live. There's nothing we can do because they didn't. It was too late.
You can't operate on
Yeah,
most
and he was
brain
just like,
cancers
oh,
because it's too late.
okay, like said goodbye to his family, his wife and I think children, and just jumped off a building.
Yeah.
Right away, basically. Is from what I don't know
course.
exactly, but that was the way they said it. Like as soon as he found out, he was like, "All right, I'm ending this."
You don't really, even though you have 6 months, you might not want to like. Sure, you can do a lot of things in 6 months.
Yeah.
But you're always gonna have that thing in the back of your head.
Sometimes literally.
Quite literally.
Oh my god, sorry. Yeah, and I mean, he brings it up in this. Like, I know I have like 2 or 3 months left, but most of that I'm going to be in pain or even in a coma. So
yeah. So
why not end
just...
it? Yeah. That's another one where he's not breaking character, but I think like his character that he's made up, the Joseph's, like the cancer patient, almost goes too far when he's out on the patio or the balcony or whatever, and he's obviously like genuinely fearing for his life, even though he doesn't have cancer. He's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
That was a weird one because at that point he's just starting to get a little like hostile. But then he disappears, and it's after the drugging, right? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
He disappears after we see after the phone call.
Aaron says, "I know about it. I talked to Angela," and that's when he runs away.
Yeah.
So Joseph talks about it just before that. Also, but I'm thinking we don't know what's wrong with Joseph. Maybe he actually has a fear of dying for some reason, for whatever reason he is this way he is. Yeah. Maybe he's been like. They've drugged him to like keep him calm before, and he felt like he was dead, or he's been institutionalized because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe he does have a fear of dying.
There's a lot we don't. Yeah, there's a lot we don't know, and there are hints at. I mean, you can maybe that's just reading too much into it, because it's a movie about a crazy person. But when he talks about having a tubby with his dad. Like, sure, like, all young children take baths with their parents. But the same thing, when in a situation like this, it feels like this thing they would use, like, oh, it's childhood trauma because his dad touched him or something. But they don't play that up. But at first, it feels like that. But then they kind of move away from that. I mean, he just seems like he's genuinely, like, sad that he won't get to have tubby time with his own son or daughter or whatever. And then, of course, probably... Yeah, Buddy, as he calls it. That's clever. Since you don't know the gender of the baby. Yeah, Buddy.
Yeah.
But then also, I'm pretty sure that this whole dad character he's made up... I mean, obviously he has a dad. But I think that's mostly made up. Like,
I'm guessing he didn't have a dad growing up.
No, they didn't go up to this cabin and paint nature paintings together, and he didn't invent a peach fuzz dance for him. It's all made up. There was no tubby time with Daddy when he was a little kid.
No. This is him creating what he wanted to have from a dad, but he never had it because he never had a dad present.
Exactly.
I mean, physically, yes, there's probably a dad. I've never heard of children being born without him.
There is one immaculate conception, and that is...
Yeah, we don't have any proof of that one.
I'm kidding.
So, like, obviously there's that, but it doesn't have to be a dad in his life.
No, exactly.
So this is him just playing out that scenario of, like,
the dream of
what it would be like to have a dad.
A loving father, yeah.
Yeah. This is the way we can talk about this movie is what I like about it. You can analyze it. You can try and figure out what's actually wrong with Joseph. Who is Angela? Like, yeah, sure, she says my brother, but I mean, at first we're introduced to her as his wife, so... And he does have a ring. Like, who goes that far?
A crazy person? A psychopath?
Sure, yes. Clinically insane people would.
That's something, if I'll spoil a little bit, we do get to see that he can go very far to like, create a persona or whatever in the sequel.
Oh, yeah. So. I mean, I've seen posters of the sequel now, and I did start it, but before even all the, like, sponsor or producer company, whatever logo things were done, I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch it yet. I'm not gonna watch it yet.
Yeah.
Because that one is also... Because this one doesn't start with, like, 4 or 5 production companies. It's, like, one.
Yeah, it's Blumhouse.
I think.
That's it.
Yeah, but it's an old Blumhouse logo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's from 2014, and it's Blumhouse Tilt. So
Yeah. Now the second one starts off with like 4 or 5. One of them being the classic, the one Blumhouse we know now.
yeah, it's the real
The,
Blumhouse, so to speak.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping also that there's a bit of a better production maybe. Not that this was a bad production considering how it is shot. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a handheld camera.
Yeah. And I do like that it's. I mean, if you look at the credits, because a lot of like found footage movies, it's not actually just the actor with a camera. It's like a camera operator. They have a bunch of lighting and special effects to make it look like just a guy running around with a camera. Here, it is Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass in a house running around with a camera. That's it.
Yes.
From what I understand, there might have been some people on set, but that is basically it. And especially then, it's just Patrick Bryce with the camera, and sometimes Mark Duplass.
I mean, if you look at who like the people credited, no, there wasn't anyone else on site basically. I mean, they have a visual effects, but that's probably just set design, I guess. In this case, because how much else do you have to have like that's visual effects in this movie?
I don't know. Not a lot. Maybe there's been some digital touching up after.
Yeah, that's after.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have a production design, so yeah, that's the person who did the set pieces, probably.
Yeah, and I know the mask was made for the movie. I think it wasn't just something they bought.
The mask or like made it.
Yeah. But that's kind of funny to talk about when we talk about found footage, because not the original found footage, but the one that everyone knows about. It's the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
And that was literally 3 people with 2 cameras out in the forest.
Yeah.
Now you had the directors.
That in the episode.
Oh yeah, exactly. We've check out our Blair Witch episode. Not on Spotify. It's just on YouTube, or is that on Spotify? I don't know. It should be on Spotify. Anyway, you have, of course, the directors are out there, but they're not like interacting with the actors in the scene.
No, they like gave them notes.
During the night, they would leave notes at the tent.
Yeah.
And I mean, they would play sounds and stuff. They would direct from a distance.
And they would stage scares in the distance, basically.
But the whole footage thing is actually the actors operating the camera. That's why a lot of the black and white footage is out of focus, because the focus ring was in millimeters instead of inches. He couldn't read it because he's an American. Anyway. But like movies, like even like low budget found footage movies, like the first Paranormal Activity, low budget. It had like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but still, that had like a crew on set, and it was it
was a cameraman holding the camera most of the time.
For a lot of time, it was a cameraman, and movies like I mean, if we want to go bigger, like Cloverfield.
Oh yes.
What is supposed to be T.J. Miller holding the camera. He never holds the camera. He's just running next to the camera guy saying his lines. Just give him the... I can know why. Because that movie costs a lot, and they don't want to like have him miss the very, very, very expensive shots. So that's why. But I like the purity of this movie. It is just the actors. Well, technically he is the director, but the actor with a camera.
He is acting as well.
He is acting, yes.
I've seen like... teenagers having their childhoods ruined because I don't remember which Disney show it is, but it's one of the Disney shows where someone's like filming their life, like vlogging all the time.
Yeah.
And they've seen like behind the scene footage of it now, and like, no, he's not carrying the camera. It's a cameraman.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like it.
Like it ruins the authenticity, but I can understand why. Specifically when in the. Disney when it's children, like no, you're not gonna give a child a camera.
No,
that's gonna be expensive.
But that's what
I like this with this one, that it's actually it's authentic.
Yeah, and the fact that it's shot on like a consumer grade camera. And 2014. So I think it's actually not. It might be rendered in like full HD, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 720p movie. Because it's grainy, it doesn't pick up a lot of, especially in the night scenes, it doesn't pick up a lot of detail. It's not an expensive camera. It might be like a couple of $100, or maybe $1,000, but it's not like something you would shoot a movie with.
No, I mean, it's a digital camera, but That's about it.
Yeah, it's a consumer grade. It's not like a
Yeah.
professional
It's like
or
the one you
prosumer.
had or had.
Well, I have it. Yeah, just don't use it. Yeah, probably. Maybe
Something
even
like that.
cheaper.
Yeah.
Which so I like that it's proper found footage, so to speak,
Yes.
instead of like, the worst one, going back to Blair Witch, but Blair Witch, the soft reboot or whatever.
Ah.
When they're we're some like youngsters filming going out in the forest with our little film cameras, but they have like, first of all, they have like little pin-sized cameras for their point of view shots.
Yeah.
They have a drone that films in full HD, without shaking or anything. They have the one he carries around with him, which is like, we don't see it, but it's like, judging from the quality of the shots, this is like a $10,000 camera.
I mean, they did borrow some of the equipment from the film school. They mentioned that.
Yeah, but it's like, this is not, this is like equipment for tens of thousands of dollars. Like, you're not just
Yeah.
bringing that out into the
That's
forest.
that's the issue with modern day movies. You can't
Yeah,
really make found footage anymore because technology today is too advanced and too easily obtainable
yeah,
for most people to like credit
yeah.
that you would use a shitty ass digital camera.
But at the same time,
I mean, I
um,
can film better stuff on my phone today than you can do with your old digital camera.
yeah, yeah. But that's the thing then. If if you're gonna make a movie about like a found footage movie about kids running around the woods, they wouldn't bring a big camera. They would use their phones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
shoot
that's
it
true.
with a phone, because we know you can make professional movies with an iPhone.
Oh, yes. Just
What's
look
his
at
name?
people's freaking YouTubes or TikToks or even Instas. Like
Yeah,
they make proper film with that.
yeah. Not only that, Steven Soderbergh made two movies, full feature length movies that were in theaters, with an iPhone 9, 8. I don't remember. It's a few years ago. He made Unsane and what's the other one called? The High Flying Bird, I think it's called. And High Flying Bird, he perfected the style, so it basically looks like a real movie. But on Unsane, you can still notice that it's made with an iPhone.
Phone.
He, of course, because it wasn't supposed to look like an iPhone, he just wanted to show that you can do it. So he did have like, because you can attach lenses to phones. So he had like a professional lens, and he had it in a proper like gimbal. So it was still like $1,000 phone with maybe $1,500 of equipment on it, but it's still made with a phone.
But
So
yeah, and you can buy those things
yeah,
to make to by yourself to make your camera or phone even better.
yeah,
Like you can buy those things on Amazon for
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
basically.
So that's like, if you're gonna make a found footage camera, just use phones. Nobody cares about the
Yeah.
quality. It's
I
better if the
think
picture quality sucks, because it's supposed to be found footage.
I think that's why like late just before 2020 when they started trying to make a new kind of genre of found footage, they started using webcams.
Yeah,
Like Unfriended and there's another one at least.
yeah.
But
Unfriended,
like
the Den, like I mentioned before.
yeah,
Unfriended. No, what's it called? Yeah, Unfriended 2, the dark web.
yeah, they're just
Um,
trying to like everything is shot through the webcams.
and they made one.
Well, it's supposed to look like it at least.
Yeah, well,
I don't
no,
know how
I
much it's
know. I know in the Den they use webcams, and well, they use different kind of cameras, because sometimes they're running around with.
it's like security cameras as well, right?
I think so. And actually some like cheaper consumer grade cameras, but still.
Yeah.
Um, and they, I don't know. Maybe they don't use it on Friend, and I'm not sure actually, but it looks like the proper webcams.
It also looks like they put a filter on it sometimes, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
but
I haven't seen the entire movie though.
but they made
A new
a British movie during the pandemic, and it's a proper like Skype movie, because they just captured Skype footage or Zoom footage. I'm not sure. There's like no professional cameras, not like, oh, we're filming it and edit. No, it was just Skype, and they captured it with like OBS or whatever,
Oh,
and
okay.
made I don't forget what it's called. It's like the the the, the seance or something. It's about 2021. Oh, whatever. It's about a bunch of people stuck in quarantine, hanging out on the daily or weekly, Zoom call. And
Yeah.
then one of them is like a hippy dippy chick or whatever or something. I haven't seen it, but and we should do a séance just for fun. And stuff
That sounds
starts.
stupid.
Yeah, but it's something like that. It's supposed to be really really good.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe we'll have to check that out.
yes, and it's all made with Skype footage or Zoom footage or whatever.
Yeah. I
And
mean, there's a couple of movies now. I don't know if both are Netflix produced, but I know they're both on Netflix.
yeah.
Um, where one of them is like
Oh
a dad looking for his daughter, and
yeah.
he's using everything on the phone to find her,
What's it called? Like Missing or something?
something like that.
That
And
one
then
is
you
really
have,
good. You should check that
I
one out.
haven't
It's
seen that.
really good actually.
And as far as I understand, a lot of it is like phone cameras and just a phone screen, what he's looking at there and stuff,
Yeah.
and like her laptop. But then there's a new one. I just remember what it says on like the poster. Out of 5 million views or something, I die.
Oh
It
yeah.
also it's also about
It's
webcams.
I
It
think it's like a
seems.
mini series. No, it's
Maybe it's a miniseries.
it is a professionally shot stuff.
Oh, okay.
I saw the first episode. It was pretty good.
What little I've seen, I've only seen like trailer. The kind of
Yeah,
trailers
and
that's rolling
that
on
is all
Netflix.
webcam stuff.
Yeah.
But no, that's a traditionally shot
Oh, okay.
series, unfortunately.
Because I mean, I can understand that that would be the new found footage thing to try and use webcams and phones, but it kind of looks weird. And in other movies where they've used phones for just short things like phone calls or whatever, like FaceTime, they kind of fuck it up. I think it was in He's All That. We mentioned that, like, you saw the picture in picture in picture. It was just like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it was obviously faked when you could have just
Yeah,
made it for real.
exactly. You could have
Uh,
just had them call each other.
yeah,
But no, they had to.
because it's a professionally made movie. We gotta make it real.
Uh,
Like, like just the fact that they have a TikTok star as their star in the movie,
yeah,
and she is a TikToker in the movie, but they can't use TikTok because it's a brand.
because that's
So
trademark.
she's live streaming. It's like, just use
Of
TikTok.
nowhere.
You can pay
I
for
mean,
it. You're Netflix.
yeah,
That might
yeah.
be
Either
because
way,
TikTok is Chinese, so and I don't know if
true.
they're very specific with. I mean, they don't have Google. They have Chinese Google.
I mean, yeah, they've blocked like most of the
YouTube,
major apps.
Twitter, I think most social media apps.
They have like one. They have a version of WhatsApp, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and they have their own versions of Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they can monitor that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Either way.
Creep.
Creep. Yeah, no, it's an interesting movie. It
Yeah,
definitely is, but it's also very awkward.
it is. It
I'm
is.
not sure how much of a rewatch value it has,
No,
to be honest.
I think it has rewatch value if you're gonna watch it with someone who hasn't seen it. You're like, ooh, this is
Yeah,
it's a you could call it like it's a super awkward movie.
yeah.
And they won't know what's going on. That could work. But yeah, watching it by your own, not really. I might, but that's just because
Yeah.
I'm me.
And also, like, it's not like, because some movies, when you see a great movie, you're like, oh my god, it was so good, I have to show someone right away. It's like, nah, I'm gonna wait a couple years, then I can
Yes,
show people.
yes. But I mean, if anything, you might not rewatch it, but you like you said, you're very excited to see the sequel.
Yes.
So it worked that way.
And depending on the sequel, I might be very excited to see a third one. So,
Yes. Well, I guess I'd like to see a third one.
so we'll see.
I mean,
Like we
once
said,
again, sequels, the whole thing about watering down the
yeah, but considering what they did with the end of this one, showing that he's done this, like, I think there was about 100 tapes.
It's a lot. It's a whole cabinet full.
You could literally keep doing this as long as he doesn't get caught or nearly gets caught anytime.
Yeah.
As if he just keeps getting away with it, you could just keep watching him do it in different ways forever.
Yeah, well,
Would
that's the
be
thing. You gotta try to like mix it up so it's not just him fooling people into becoming his
He
friends and then
can
killing them.
do weird stories. He can
Sure,
start
sure.
including a partner, maybe. I don't know.
But I mean,
Maybe
then,
Angela is crazy too.
but then the thing is that then that it would, we would just know that he's a killer, and we're just waiting for okay, so when he's gonna kill them because we
Yeah,
know
that's
already. A lot of it is that we're not sure. Is he crazy or is he just awkward?
They could switch it up, and the person that takes the job is also crazy.
Yeah, like they talked about that that was
Yeah, like
supposed to be
actually
reported.
make
Yeah,
the Aaron character just as crazy.
and that's what I think is good about the sequel. Without saying too much, that they change it up, so it is not just him fooling another person. It is different enough, but still, like, it works as a sequel. So I'm still interested in watching a third one. And also, like, but can they pull it off? I don't know. Still excited to see it though.
Well,
But I think that's it for Creep.
yeah, because now I want to go watch the second one.
Yeah, I'll probably will as well. Because it's
I mean,
good.
it's a little bit dark, and I'm home alone, so we'll see if I'm actually up for watching a horror movie on my own.
Yeah.
But we'll, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
And if you want to hear us talk about Creep 2, we're recording that episode this weekend probably, and
Most likely.
it'll be available on patreon.com/don't make a scene. Links everywhere. This Monday for just $3 a month. You can listen to that and literally dozens more exclusive episodes. But you can also, just subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we're available. So check us out there.
Check out our socials as well.
Yes.
To keep up with what we're talking about, what we might watch.
Yep.
Because I've noticed a lot of tweets you've made could be potential movies to watch.
Yeah. I'm getting very active. I manage the Twitter account at the Spoilercast, and you manage Instagram at the Spoilercast.
Yes.
A lot of film related stuff on the Twitter, because a bunch of polls and stuff that I join because it's fun.
Insta's mostly commercial, like telling you what movie we talked about so far.
So check that out.
Yes.
And we'll see you we'll see you next Thursday when we're going to talk about another horror movie. We haven't decided yet.
Well,
right?
we tried to do every other classic and then a newer one. This is kind of in between, so we'll see what we end up on.
I don't know. But either way, I hope you'll join us. And until then, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.